what I have vowed, I will pay. And so he's actually saying, basically, I said I would, I'm supposed to go to Nineveh. I haven't done what I said I would do. I will do. And then, of course, salvation belongs to the Lord. And that is when God speaks to the fish. It's important that he speaks to the fish. The fish comes up above, but then he vomits Jonah over onto the ground. So when he gets to Nineveh, this is, of course, what I mentioned before. There's a very strange thing which happens, which is that Jonah is made to be a false prophet. And this is where all the upside down thing is just becomes hilarious. Because Jonah said, a lot of people say that Jonah told the city to repent, and that if they don't repent, God will destroy the city. But that's nowhere in the text. It doesn't say that. It just says, tell Nineveh I'm going to destroy the city. And so he goes and says he's going to destroy the city. They repent. And then God doesn't destroy the city. So Jonah is actually made to be a false prophet. And this is this strange upside down thing where in becoming a false prophet, he actually ends up saving the city, or being what looks like a false prophet. He ends up being the one who saved the city, but also saves the foreigner. He is actually saving the foreigner by going through these weird tipsy-turvy thing. Now, he becomes a false prophet, and then the city is saved, the foreign city is saved, and of course Jonah is not happy with that. Because he's been made a joke, right? He's been turned into a joke. He's not happy of being turned into a joke. And so God reproves him and says, I'm going to save the city. Are you angry? I don't want to just save the high place. I want to save the low place. I actually want to save the city, not just the garden. And then he says the strange thing about not being able to tell the difference between your right and your left hand. And also God says he's going to also save the animals, which is related to this notion of death and the garments of skin as well. Something that I've talked about quite a few times. And I talked about how, as the mystic goes up the mountain, when I talked about Moses, who sheds his garments of skin, but then when he reaches the very top, he receives them again in the pattern of the temple. So too, God in the end says he wants to he says, I want to save the city and I want to save the animal, even the outer covering.